This week, my friend Uriel brought me two guitars to repair, one Ibanez electroacoustic for his son, and this guitar, which is SA, Ibanez SA. I don't know if you can see the color properly on the camera. It's actually dark purple, deep purple. Very beautiful, a bit glossy. Even if maybe it looks black, but we'll see it better a bit later on the workbench. So the SA series is in fact derived from the S series, which, if you remember from our previous videos, are super thin, super light. And this one is a bit thicker. It's not as thin, it's not as light, but it shares a lot of characteristics with the S series. Just it's more affordable because it's easier to produce. Among the artists that use SA, an Ibanez SA, or a signature guitar derived from the SA, you have Kiko Loureiro from bands Angra and Megadeth, and Andy Timmons. I know this series very well myself because I used to own a SA guitar a few years ago. I used to own a SA 460 QM, quilted maple, so it had a quilted maple veneer, SPB, sapphire blue, very nice quilted blue burst, and I appreciate it a lot. So this guitar is not in great condition. I think it was stored in the garage, so we'll check it on the workbench. But when I started analyzing a bit what I would have to do on this guitar, I checked naturally the back of the headstock. And big surprise, this guitar is actually made in Japan. It was made in Japan in 2000, according to the serial number. So this guitar is 26 years old. And I didn't know the SS series were made in Japan. Mine was made in China. I know some were made in Indonesia at the moment. Some Prestige units were made in Japan, but this is not a Prestige, especially not in 2000. So after some research, I found out that this guitar is in fact the very first SA model, and it was indeed made in Japan at the Fujigen factory in 2000, and it was made in Japan for a very short time, which makes this guitar a big piece of Ibanez history. So we're going to take this guitar on the workbench and then do a proper restoration as fits this incredible guitar. So let's have a look at this guitar. So let's start by the body. So I don't know if you can see, but it's actually, you know, kind of a dark gloss purple, which is a very nice finish. So the first thing I notice is there are a lot of scratch marks here. It's pretty dirty, it's pretty full of dust. The body itself has a few dings here, which is not like not crazy for a 26-year-old guitar. And the thing I noticed the most, this is dangerous. So this is going out. Now you get the risk of the guitar falling on the floor, so we'll fix that. The thing I notice is the pole pieces on all the pickups are rusted. All the screws here, all rusted. Also on the back of the bridge. This looks fine, but it has doesn't roll very well, so we'll check it. This one, yeah, the same. There is a kind of a, yeah, it's a bit moving, so we'll have to fix all that. The bridge itself looks a bit oxidized, so we'll need to address that. I see some sticker marks here, looks like glue. Probably we can remove that. We need to clean up a bit those screws. Funnily enough, this one is fine. I don't know why this one is fine and not the others, but that's how it is. Now for the neck, okay, the strings are really, really dead. You can see it's all black. The fingerboard itself looks okay, even if it's a bit dirty. I don't know if you can see the waves here of accumulated dirt and dust. The frets look kind of dull, a bit scratchy, so we'll need to polish the frets for sure. The nut here, the nut looks okay. The headstock has a little impact here, but apart from that, it's fine. It's very dirty, of course. The screws are rusty. The tuning machines are fine as far as I can tell. Also here, and okay, and you see tuners made by Goto, Japanese brand. So this already is a telltale sign that this thing was made in Japan. And of course, you can see here, it's very small, but you can see the serial number F00-46173, Japan. So that's really, F stands for Fujigen, the great Japanese factory. 00 is year 2000, and then the serial number, and Japan, so it was made in Japan. I suppose this bridge was made by Goto too. I'm not sure about it. We'll check it. Anyway, we'll have to remove everything, disassemble everything, and then start. I already tested the electronics. It looks like the pickups are working. So that's already a good sign. We will just have to clean them, remove the rust, but apart from that, if that's okay, it means the electronics itself is fine. And I think that's it for the diagnostics. One note about the model of this guitar. After some research, it appears this model is in fact a SA260, made in Japan, Fujigen, and the color is jewel blue. So jewel, I can see why, but blue, it looks more like a purple, jewel purple maybe. But it's true that it has kind of a, a chameleon feel. From some angle it looks really dark blue, and from some other it looks a bit purple. Anyway, that's Ibanez colors, but that's SA260. Okay, let's start simply by removing the strings. So I think we can first release a bit of the tension. My God, those strings are so dead. I don't know if you can hear this little ting when I tune down here. When I tune down the strings, that's generally the strings, the nut catching the strings here. So maybe we'll have to really clean up these nut slots, maybe file them a bit so that the string can pass through the nut more easily. That's one of the main causes of tuning instability, so we'll address that. Okay. Okay, so there is one thing I'll always check when I remove the neck from the body. It's that the screws have the same height or not. So that's one of the front screws. Oops. And then one of the back screws. No, they are identical, so perfect. I won't have to worry about that. Oops. Yeah, they're all the same size. That's great. Because sometimes the screws on the back are longer. So if you by mistake put them on the front, then you go through the fretboard. Not great. Ah, that's the confirmation. SA26001. Okay, so now I have the confirmation of the model actually. Here we go. So now I have separated the body and the neck. That would be much easier to work with. And here we have the same. I don't really see well what's written. Yeah, SA26001. So okay, that's SA260 as that's the confirmation of what I discovered with my research on internet. So let's disassemble this neck, starting with the truss rod cover. Yes. Here we go. Truss rod itself is perfect, so that's good. So now I'm going to do something I don't always do when I'm cleaning, polishing the frets and the fretboard. It's to use some steel wool, 0000 steel wool. So it's very fine, and usually it's so fine that it doesn't damage neither the wood nor the frets. I don't always do it because it leaves a lot of little metal scrapes all over the place. But since I've separated the body and namely the pickups from the neck, I think it's fine to do it. Frets are big. Yeah, well, already you can see the difference between these two. The feel is very different too. This one is like glass. This one is really catching my fingers. I don't know if you can see the difference between these two, but it's pretty massive. Also, I thought, okay, the frets have little dents, but there's also a bit of mark by the string. So with steel wool, it's going to remove most of this issue. So look, the result is much better. You see the frets are very shiny and they are very smooth now. So it's, I think it's a great enhancement, great improvement. Yeah, we need to dress the fret ends a bit, just a bit. The fretwork is pretty good with the Japanese guitars, but you know, the wood may have shrunk a bit, so. In which case, can you use steel wool on the fretboard itself to clean it? When it's rosewood or ebony, so these woods don't have any finish because they are porous. So then you can use it to clean it. It's absolutely safe. So usually the grime accumulates next to the frets. So in this case, I can really go that way along the frets, but I like to finish in the direction of the wood pores, so it looks better. Okay, we're done with the real physical work here. Now I'm gonna clean up a bit the little steel flakes, and we will be able to hydrate the fretboard, and you will see a massive difference. Okay, now I've cleaned up a bit, removed the rest of the steel wool, the little flakes. So now we are going to do the part I like the most about cleaning a Figma board, which is hydrate it with lemon oil. Okay, that's good. So now we will let the wood drink as much lemon oil as it wants. We will let it rest for a few minutes, and then I'll clean up what's left, and that will be all for the neck. Yeah, maybe I will dress the fret ends a bit. Maybe I will file a bit more the slots on the nut, but yeah, apart from that, will be good. Okay, we can see that the fretboard has absorbed a lot of oil, almost everything. So now I'm going to remove just what's left. Okay, so that's it. Look at that rosewood. Isn't that beautiful? You can see the pores of the wood. It's completely clean and smooth. Yeah, now it feels amazing. Let's clean a bit this neck. So that's special for wood. And you can see the wood has this yellowish tint, typical of Japanese-made guitars. That's a beautiful piece of maple. Really smooth, really maybe polished by the years, but it's really, really nice. Love it. And the last thing I need to do for the neck itself is maybe dress some fret ends that are a bit sharp, but really just a bit. Just to make it perfectly rounded and smooth. So one thing I like to do is to enlarge a bit the nut slot. So for this, in fact, I don't have a nut files, but what I did is a trick from Phil McKnight is you take an old string, you know, just a bit of the string, and you just put some sandpaper around it, like so, and then it will be more or less the width of the strings, like this, and so it enlarges just a bit the slot. We don't want too much. We don't want to go deeper. We just want to enlarge it a bit. So that's for the 9, and I probably will do it for 9, 11, and 16, and I think that's it. The big strings don't really need it. They don't actually require it. So like so. So that's 11. Just a bit. That's it. Just that. Good. Okay, so on the table we have everything that is left to take care of. The tuners with the tuner screws, the neck screws, and these are the screws that go behind the tuners, and these are the screws that go with the truss rod cover. So let's deal with the tuners. In fact, they don't look rusted or anything, just a bit dirty, a bit dusty, just a bit oxidized. So I think that's an easy one. I'm gonna use metal polish, and with that I think we can get rid of all those parts and then put them back on the guitar, and that would be a big part already under our belt. Yeah, it's mostly dirt, oxidation, but you see when I remove it, it's shiny. There's no damage to the metal itself. So it's very good news. Okay, so that's one done. It's pretty shiny. We'll do the other ones and I'll see you on the other side. So that's it. The metal polish did its magic. Sometimes when there is still a bit of like this one, a bit of polish inside, I use a kind of a brush with a nylon hair, and it removes everything inside, so it gets perfect. Yeah, great. This I just cleaned it, so it's good. Everything looks shiny, so we can reassemble. So let's do the first. I'm gonna do the first one. Okay, so we can assemble like this just by hand, and then align the screw hole properly. Drive that screw inside, and tighten this one with a 10 millimeter. Yeah, just before the final tighten part. Here we go. Great, let's do the other file. And here we go. All tuners have been reassembled, and look how shiny they are. Very nice Goto, made in Japan. That's good quality stuff. So that should go like this. I haven't checked the neck. Looks pretty straight to me. If needed, I will adjust it later. But for the moment, I think that's fine. I can put that back. And anyway, we'll check with how it looks like with the string tension. Ta-da! First part complete. Beautiful Ibanez neck, beautiful rosewood. You see how darker it is now compared to when I got it. So yeah, really nice piece of wood. Okay, now that the neck is done, we can put it aside for now and look at the body. So I'm going to disassemble everything, and for the pickups I don't know if I need to unsolder them or if I can just put them a bit out of the socket, clean it, and then clean the pickups themselves. We'll check it when we get there. For the moment, let's disassemble. I only need two things: a screwdriver and a hex key for the bridge. And I think that's it. Let's go. Let's start with that. Okay, this one doesn't want to go out. No, okay, got it. Good. This will stay for sure. This should. Oh no, that's something I haven't seen a lot. Usually Ibanez, you can just pull them, and they are not as massive metal thing. They are more like aluminium with a plastic inside. No, this one is actually, there's a screw holding it. Great stuff. Here we go. Here's the bridge. Very cool. Okay, super easy to remove. Wow, this is old. Here's the bridge. They don't say what it is. It's pretty heavy, in fact. Okay, maybe made by Goto too. I'm not sure about it. Electronics cavity. Well, looks pretty clean. I don't see any issue. Probably it was never opened, so that's great. We see the volume potentiometer, the tone potentiometer, the switch here that we can remove if we want to, because I already removed the screws there. The jack, the input jack here. But everything looks good. What I'm gonna do is put a bit of deoxide spray on those two potentiometers and on the switch, because my friend told me that they were a bit scratchy. Oh, this is a nice way. Okay, this needs to be a bit clean, but you see, the ground goes to the electronic plate, to the back of the electronic plate, and makes contact with this little aluminum strip to the output jack. So that's pretty smart, actually. It's a cleaner for electronic contacts. So really what we need in that situation. A bit inside the input jack and a bit inside the switch. Okay, and yeah, turn a bit those potentiometers to let it sink inside. Well, I put a lot. I will need to really remove some of the liquid. Great. Okay, now I thought if I want to clean the body really well, I will have to remove those screws, even if I push a bit the pot and leave it inside the cavity and leave it wired. And probably this this pickup ring. So let's do that. Let's do that with this tool. It always works. Come on. Okay. So I can push that inside. I can also push this one inside, just to give me the time to properly clean it. That's fine. And then we can remove this pickup ring. Oh wow. Okay, so this one is is really dead. I will have to find another one because it's kind of disintegrating. Actually, maybe not. We'll see if this one can be salvaged or if I need a new one. Here we go. Ugh. Okay, now that's dirty. I knew it, but at least it will allow me to, you know, go around and clean the body. That will be a good first step, and then I can take this out, clean the pickups, and first clean the body, because then I will be able to put back these and close the electronics cavity. I think that's the first thing to do, like removing all this dust. Yes. Okay. I will remove this ring. I will take the pickup out of the ring to be easier anyway. That's it. So this we can clean separately, and this, oof. So these are easy to clean, because in fact I can clean the pole pieces directly there, since I will put a cover later. For this one, we'll have to use another trick. So this is a copper brush, so it won't be attracted by magnets, so that's pretty safe to use in this situation, namely on this pole this little pole which is really rusty. It's not bad, doesn't look rusty, it's still a bit dark, but I think for the moment that's the best I can do. I don't want to use things that are too aggressive on that pickup, so I think that's just fine. Yeah, great, that's great. So for the humbucker it's a bit trickier because there's no cover, so I can't remove that. So two things I can do. The first one is the poles with screws. I can slightly lift them up a bit. First, it's very dirty underneath, so for sure it will be good. And also, it will be easier to clean without scraping the plastic. And the trick is to use painter's tape. Here. And here. And with an X-Acto knife, just cut around the poles. Yeah, it doesn't need to be pretty, it just needs to be, you know, just let the pole pieces appear, and the rest we don't really care. So let's first use the copper brush. Good, and now a bit of metal polish. That should do the trick. I can be generous here since there is some paper, tape to cover the pickup itself, so yeah. So as expected, we get much better result on the screws because I can lift them up than on the slugs, which I can't lift. Now we have to deal with the screws because these are fine, but you remember we had the one that was really bad here. So I will see if I can salvage them. The screws, contrarily to the pickup poles, I can put the screws in a kind of you know, rust removing solution, so I think that's fine. I'm gonna try that, leave them a few hours to see if that helps. So I will choose which screws I put in the solution and which screws I don't. First, because I don't want to mix them, like how can you tell the difference between this one and this one? It's pretty tricky. And honestly, they don't need it. These don't really need it. I can use the metal polish and that will be fine. But this one, for example, a bit. So these two are the toggle switch. So I can put just a bit. In fact, with this thing, I will put it just on the external border, so I don't put too much. Yeah, and these, the pickup rings, these really need it. Okay, these I'm gonna leave like that. I'm gonna polish everything I can polish at the moment, including the bridge. I think I will start disassembling this bridge and polishing it a bit. Should be fairly easy. It's in a pretty good shape. And yeah, then we can check at the end of this cleaning with every metal piece clean with the rust removed, and then we'll decide what to do next. So I'm cleaning the bridge, and yeah, it looks already much more shiny, much better, as you can see. One thing I noticed is on this side here, the knife edge is a bit notched, and that I can't repair that. So the best solution is just to keep it fixed, keep as it was. Don't use the tremolo. Just keep it fixed, and it's going to be fine. Otherwise, I'm afraid it will lose tuning stability because of the bridge. It will never return to the 0 point. So better leave it fixed. Okay, so I clean all the screws. They are all now in very good shape. Also these ones, they are black and shiny, and especially this one, I think that's the one that was really rusty on the pickup ring. So the rust remover did its magic. It's working fine. So as you saw, I went with a really soft method. Yeah, I could take a Dremel and you know, try to polish it, but if I do that, then the black finish on top of the screws will just disappear and it will be chrome. So you know, I really wanted to keep the same thing. So you see the bridge is super shiny now, like really nice. No trace of oxidation whatsoever, so that's pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is I put back those. I can put back the tip of the selector switch. What I can do now is put back this ring. Yeah, let's do that, because these pickups are moving all the time. So the first thing we can do is put back the ring, put back the pickups, and so I can I can flip the guitar more easily. Okay, good. So the last thing I can do on this side before turning it up is put down the chrome knobs. So I won't put them too low, because last time it was kind of scratching against the wood. So now I think that's better. And this one too. To put the bridge, I need to put the strings behind, so let's do that. First of all, I can close this. Yeah, that would be a good thing. By the way, you can see that the back is completely flat, okay, contrary to the S series, which is arched both ways, both on the front and on the back. Okay, so sorry, I need to put those first. I think it will be fine, just fine. Oh, here we go. Now let's put back the springs. Right. Like so. Okay, should be like that. One. So that's it. Finally, I installed the bridge, the springs. So I will wait to put the strings, and then I will put back the cavity cover. But for the moment, I will leave like that. Oh, let me quickly fix this thing that is a bit moving. Great, okay. So I thought it was a good opportunity before I reassemble and I put strings, maybe to test the pickups, and then I will be able to close the electronics cavity. So let's put the resistance. So neck pickup 735 kilo ohm. Middle position 365. Middle 7.16. I guess it's the middle and the first coil of the bridge, 3.47. And finally the full humbucker, 1298. Great, so that's for the resistance, the output of each pickup. So now let's check the polarity. So this is north, so south, logical, north, also logical, and south. This is logical because when these two pickups are together, their magnetic polarity is opposed, which is what we want. And when these two are together, they are also opposed, south and north, which is also what we want if we want position 2 and position 4 to be hum cancelling. Great. So finally, the moment has come to reassemble the body and the neck, which is a very satisfying moment for sure. The guitar looks really nice. Really, you wouldn't say it's 25 years old. That's pretty amazing. Ta-da! Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Great. So let's put strings, a quick setup, and then we can test how it sounds. So here you go. Nicely restored Ibanez SA 260 made in Japan. I really like the finish. I think the finish looks really great. This purple with reflections, really nice. And the neck is amazing. The neck reminds me of the other Japanese guitars I played, whether it was my RG 550 or my Jackson's made in Japan. So it's really a great instrument, and it was such a shame that it was not playable. So I think this restoration illustrates two things. First, that you can take an instrument that was basically unsellable and unplayable, and with a few hours, with a few techniques and basic tools, you can take it to a playable condition if you want to play it and keep it, or to a sellable condition. You can sell it for good money. And the second point is when you know what you're dealing with. When I first saw this SA guitar, or when I talk with people about, oh, I got an Ibanez SA, you say, it's a cheap guitar. Why? Because we think Ibanez SA made in Indonesia or made in China. But when you say suddenly, hey, this is the first batch of Ibanez SA 260 that were made in Japan, and they were made in Japan for only 1 year, then it's a different story. You take the price from, I don't know, $250 to $500 maybe. I hope Uriel will like it as much as I had fun restoring it. So this is Uriel and his son, and we'll see his face with when I show him the guitar.
Wow.
Recognize it?
Wow.
Looks new.
Wow.
It's like this. It's
Completely different.
it's like it's not the same guitar at all.
You want to see how it sounds?
Wow.
Of
Yeah.
course.